Hello, my name is John Vogt, and I am with the RIT Nutrition Management Program. This presentation is for the Community Nutrition class at RIT, and I'm going to be telling you about my experience with the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, shadowing their dietitians. So the mission that we have here from the OPWDD is to help people with developmental disabilities live richer lives. And this can mean a number of different things. The OPWDD provides housing, nutrition services, medical services, and their patient population is very different, and we'll get into that later on. And their vision is to help people with developmental disabilities enjoy meaningful relationships with friends, family, and others in their lives, while experiencing personal health and growth and living in the home of their choice and fully participating in their communities. The Office for People with Developmental Disabilities in New York State was created in 1978, and it was originally named the Office of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities. This name was removed in favor of the new name in 2010. The creation of this organization is largely in response to the discontinuation of large-scale developmental disability institutions in which these individuals were housed in very large groups under questionable living conditions. So the OPWDD is really rethinking care for the developmentally disabled. It was created largely also in response to the Willowbrook Consent Decree, in which the residents living at the Willowbrook State School, which was the subject of an expose by Geraldo Rivera in the 70s, so that the students living there could find housing in New York State outside of this large institution. So it really facilitated the creation of group homes for the deinstitutionalized individuals. The agency covers 5 regions in the state, and I was lucky enough to participate in the Finger Lakes region. The New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities is a government-funded organization. This means that it must go through several steps to receive their funding. The OPWDD directly bills the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. CMS then reimburses the state Department of Budgeting for the amount that it is billed. Albany and the Department of Budgeting therein then disperses funding to the OPWDD and the private agencies that then conduct these services for the developmentally disabled. These include Heritage Christian Services and the ARC and things like this. The costs associated with feeding these individuals are covered by SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008. I found this very interesting because both of these programs are geared toward low-income individuals, and by definition, the disabled individuals living in the group homes provided by the OPWDD really have no income, allowing them to qualify for these benefits. My community nutrition rotation was based out of the Finger Lakes Region Developmental Disability Services Office. This is located on 620 West Fall Road, Rochester, New York. The Finger Lakes Region DDSO coordinates services for over 128,000 New York State residents. It maintains 143 group homes within 10 counties, serving approximately 1,300 individuals. Each registered dietitian with the Finger Lakes Region DDSO supervises between 8 and 10 houses. Each house contains 8 to 10 individuals, and therefore they supervise 80 to 100 individuals and carry a very large caseload. The Finger Lakes DDSO operates under several guiding principles. The first among these is to put the person first. The developmentally disabled are at the heart of every service provided by the OPWDD, and their person-centered approach is embodied in everything that they do, among their services and their people. Next, they seek to maximize opportunities. Autonomy is a big deal at the OPWDD. These residents should be afforded the same opportunity to direct their lives as any other person. It is this mindset that facilitated the change from institutions to group homes, where the patients can undergo more personalized and loving care. I spent the majority of my time at the Finger Lakes Region DDSO shadowing 2 registered dietitians, Laura Stout, an Ohio State alumnus, and Lindsay Lagone, our own RIT alumnus. They are supervised by Patty Asquith. The nutrition staff at the Finger Lakes DDSO come from a variety of backgrounds. There are a number of registered dietitians like Lindsay and Laura. There are some dietetic technicians registered as well, and some other nutrition staff who have, under state regulations, been required to complete at least a 2-year degree related to the field of nutrition and 400 hours of supervised practice. This staff conducts screening and diet orders for all residents that come into their allotted group homes. The role of the RD at the Finger Lakes DDSO is varied. Of course, they conduct the nutrition care process, which includes screening, nutrition assessment, nutrition diagnosis, intervention, monitoring, and outcome management. Fortunately, the patient population at the OPWDD will be under their care for a very long time. So monitoring and evaluation become a very real part of their management. The dietitians are always responsible for calculating the nutrient needs of their patients. Because the population varies so greatly, some individuals are confined to wheelchairs or non-communicative, while others walk around just like you or I. Their needs vary greatly. Because so many of these individuals are unable to communicate their needs, monitoring their weight is imperative for keeping them healthy. The dietitians at the Finger Lakes Region DDSO are also heavily involved in enteral nutrition. Many of the residents have varying degrees of dysphagia or other ailments that make it difficult for them to swallow. Tube feeding is often necessary, especially as they progress in age. The RD consults with an interdisciplinary team, including primary care physicians, speech pathologists, occupational and physical therapists, all to determine the best route for coordinated treatment of the individual. The registered dietitian at the Finger Lakes Region DDSO is also heavily involved in training of incoming home care staff. These staff are involved in the cooking, bathing, cleaning, and general day-to-day life of all of these individuals. Because of this, they need to understand how to prepare food for the varying diet orders of these individuals. This includes pureed and ground diets as well as normal or thin liquid diets. Sanitation and safety is also about most important, and home care staff undergo extensive training to keep all of their patients safe. This is especially important in the disabled population because many of them have altered immune function. The RDs also conduct kitchen audits to make sure that the home care staff are doing everything by regulation. And of course, no healthcare job would be complete without paperwork. The RDs at the Finger Lakes Region DDSO supervise lab work, they monitor for weight fluctuations, and they read all home care notes related to nutrition and cooking to determine if any changes need to be made in the care of their individual patients. My time with the Finger Lakes Region DDSO was overwhelmingly positive. By and large, my time was spent shadowing both Laura and Lindsay. I was able to observe them in their day-to-day functions as registered dietitians and join them to group home and daycare visits. My favorite part of the rotation was meeting and interacting with the residents. I was even able to observe my very first tube feed administration at one of the day home facilities. Both Lindsay and Laura were both kind enough to include me in the case management of several interesting individual cases. This experience really helped me to build confidence and understand that I have been well prepared to conduct medical nutrition therapy for a wide variety of individuals. Of course, I was never making the decisions for the care of these people, but being able to hold intelligent conversation about their cases is a win in my book. Another important aspect of this rotation was menu planning. I was challenged to create special snacks and meals for special diets including pureed, ground, lactose-free, and others. Some individuals simply didn't like certain foods, or refused to eat certain foods, or would only drink. Overall, this was an eye-opening and challenging first look into menu planning in a very difficult and diverse population. Thank you for listening.